Om Shanti. I'm Judy in Canada and welcoming all of you here this morning. This morning here in Americas, but afternoon and evening elsewhere. This is number 6 in our BK conversations. Originally intended, actually started with a thought from Marcelo Bai, a very benevolent thought that during the times of COVID, we as Brahmins would discover things coming up in ourselves. And this is meant to be a forum for us to share and learn from our seniors. So we have insight and progress in the areas that were challenged during this time. This is conversation number 6, as I said. The first was confidence in facing financial insecurity. The second was about emotional eruptions in this time of intensification, of purification. The third was about trusting my divine intellect when facing obstacles. The fourth, finding my place, the role of centers and belonging now in this new world. And the last one was my relationship with time. And each time we have tried to gather together souls from different parts of the world who we might not normally see in conversation with each other, but who have a lot of wisdom and could share that with us. So today our focus is on fulfilling my potential and getting the result I want in my final moments. With us today, we have the good fortune of Asha Didi joining us from Om Shanti Retreat Center. Om Shanti, Asha Didi. It's so nice to see you. Thank you for making the time to join us in this very special conversation. I think probably everyone knows you, but I didn't know that you'd been with Baba in the spiritual life since you were 9 years old. So that number seems really significant somehow. So a whole lifetime of service. And I know, having watched your management style at ORC, at one point I think I offered, could I come and just study you for 6 months? I'd like to come and study just you and your management style. So now that's public. Anyways, so winning the hearts of everyone, cooperation and service for so many years in the Delhi region. But so we have, for the first time in these conversations, I'm just thrilled by this, we have our brother Artem from Russia. And so welcome, dear brother. Artem Bai has been with Baba since 1990, and as I'm told by Sudaben, the first, if not one of the first, Russian souls living in Russia at the time to take this knowledge and to become Baba's child. So really warm welcome, Artem Bai.
That's great pleasure to me.
Great to have you with us today. Wonderful. Artem Bai has been serving in Russia with the National Coordinating Management Committee, but also with the COBS group. So those of us who have been on board or are on Baba's boards or center organization, this is the group, Country Organizations Board Support, COBS, that helps us with the organizational functioning. And that's because he works has worked as a CEO in a telecom company in Russia. So he comes with a lot of Lokik experience in management, and that has been divinized in his 30 years with Baba. So warm welcome, Artem. And then we have with us Sister Sona, who is sitting in Gyan Sarovar, I think, right now in Madhuban, bringing us the Madhuban. Been soaking up Baba's vibes and sending us great vibrations and messages from our home all this time. And Sona Ben is serving in Abu Dhabi, has since, I think it's been about 12 years now, establishing a very robust and beautiful center in Abu Dhabi, in a part of a world where it's quite new, this idea of spirituality. And so beautiful service there. So welcome, Sona. Very nice to have you with us today.
Thank you, Judy.
So you know the topic, all of you, and because we only have an hour, we just have 2 questions, simple and clean 2 questions, and I'll ask each of you to respond to the first question, and I'll just frame it for a moment. I think, you know, we all understand that our entire Brahman life is training for our final moments. So from the beginning, we've been training for our final moments. And yet, I think we all can see that those final moments are coming to us quite soon. And it might be more vivid and more obvious to us than it has been before. Maybe not. Maybe we've all been living in the firm awareness of those final moments. But as a collective, you know, I hear talk about, am I ready? You know, the feeling that, gee, maybe I should have done something and I haven't yet. So the race for our final moments is becoming quite clear to all of us. So I would like to ask each of you, please, and we'll begin with our Asha Didi. As you're thinking about these final moments, what is the effort that's coming clear to you now? That you're making? What is the focus for you right now to make sure that those final scenes are moments of great satisfaction? So Asha Didi, if you would offer your insight, please.
Okay. Om Shanti. First of all, I would like to thank Brother Marcelo, who took up this idea. And it's a very beautiful way to convey the experiences of the Brahmin souls who have been doing tapasya all these years, to share all these experiences with the Brahmin family. And I also deeply appreciate Judy Johnson, Judy, who conducts the whole conversation in such a lively manner. So I have lot of things to learn from both Judy and Marcelo. So thank you very much for inviting me for this. Now, when we say final moments, the thought that came to my mind, is it the final moment when the world will come to an end, when the cycle would come to an end? Or is it the final moment when I bid goodbye? And we never know when that final moment will come for me. From very young age, Mama's words always keep ringing in my ears. Children, you must consider every moment to be your last moment. Every moment is your last moment. It is only then you can focus on your efforts and you can do a lot to achieve your final karmatit stage. I also recall my own young days as a small child when we used to conduct dialogues. Why should we study more? The world is going to come to an end, and so on. And I tell you frankly, I changed my line of education. I was to go for medicine, but then diverted. And now when we see the whole scenario, what I feel is we have to achieve our karmatit stage. And when I see myself and compare with the final karmatic stage, I feel there are a lot of things that still I need to put into my life. It is not that I have not been working on them, but still, it's a question of final moments and my final stage. Presently, during this COVID, when so many things are going on, one thing that I'm focusing upon is to remain relaxed. Because when the mind is relaxed, then our response to the situation is better. Earlier, being a perfectionist, small little thing would disturb me. But now I'm educating myself. It is no point looking for it. Everyone has their role, but I have to remain relaxed by being what Baba says, Sakshi Drashta, spectator, observer, and appreciating everyone's role so that when I return home, I do not have any accounts with anyone to clear. I'm specifically keeping attention that no new accounts are created. All the accounts that are there already, I have to finish, and no new accounts should be created now. And third thing is especially putting full stop to every single thing that happens. You know, I'm with ORC, with the affairs of Delhi, and there are so many things that keep happening. More than 500 plus centers in Delhi zone. And from this, you can understand how many kinds of things must be coming up. But appreciating, accepting, and then anything that happens, just put a stop. Full stop. Never repeat it and move forward. I also feel nowadays the time is too short and I cannot afford now to spend so much time in making others learn. I cannot do that. Now is the time when everyone should pick up signals and correct themselves. I cannot correct anyone. What I earlier used to do, but now no more. Give the signals, give the point, and then keep moving on. And I feel in this, I still need to become essenseful. When I'm essenseful, I'll be more powerful. And the stage that Baba wants us to be, the karmatic stage, that will be easily closer. So these are a few things on which I'm keeping my focus nowadays. My relationships should not become bad with anyone. If there is anything, your attention, keeping the mind very clear without there being any obstructions, disturbances, or stresses. No, if I do that, I will not be able to catch the signals from Baba. Now is the time when I need to catch signals from Baba. And if I am keeping myself in stormy state, I cannot receive those signals. So this is what I keep attention, and of course, always having good wishes, etc. That is minor thing, but these are the things. I have to become like Baba. I have to become like Baba. This mantra keeps ringing in my ears nowadays.
Thank you, Didi. I feel relaxed being in your company. So you are succeeding in keeping yourself relaxed. Very beautiful. And I can well imagine with 500 centers how many things must come up. So thank you for the candor in your offering. That's very helpful. Artem, would you share with us, please, your thinking at this time about your final moments and the effort that you're making?
Thank you so much, and it's a great pleasure to be in that conversation with really great souls. And I'm actually, I don't consider myself to be senior brother. I'm just an ordinary Baba's child here in Moscow, with some experience in spiritual life and quite extensive experience in Lokic life. You know that when I'm thinking about these last moments and what I have to do and what is really challenging for me, it's actually to keep a good balance between spiritual life and a heavy daily routine, with daily schedule, with a heavy and intensive job and Lokic activities. And what comes to my mind, that actually to be ready to those final moments, we have to lighten our burden of our local jobs. It's almost impossible to keep our mind constantly in yoga when we have a very responsible job, or job where everything comes up every moment, and there are a lot of people under our control, and there are a lot of tasks, deadlines, and so on and so forth. Of course, jobs are different. In some jobs, it's possible to be in yoga, or to be to follow karma yoga, like some simple physical work. We can do it, and our mind can remember Baba, and we can be in a soul consciousness stage. Like when I wash utensils, I do sometimes myself. And when I cook food, I also quite often I do it myself. That's ordinary actions, and we can easily be in yoga. But when you have really something very responsible task to do, then we have to be action aware. That's to go deep into that action, to perform them to the state that's required. And at that time to be in yoga, it's somehow in a background. It's not in a revealed form. Yeah. And after that, what's my personal experience? I get some tiredness, and when mind is tired, it's difficult to have yoga, and it's not possible to have some signals from Baba at that time. And that signals from Baba, it's the most important for our final moments. I remember one Avyakt Murli that it was in revision course, maybe around April or May, when Baba was saying that there will be 4 types of exams at the end. One is from relations, that's from our local family, maybe friends, maybe some people we offended in our previous life. And those karmic accounts will come to us, and we'll have to do with them. And maybe some attachments will come up. That's, for me, that's not a big problem. I practice detachment and detached observer stage from the beginning of my spiritual life. And I believe I'm quite good at that. And secondly, Baba said that there will be exams from nature, like natural calamities and all that. And to be safe in that environment, we need we have to catch the signals from Baba. And Baba said, as I remember, over a long period of time, we should have this practice. And for that, we should have some kind of circumstances and environment that helps us to keep our mind constantly, in a stable stage. And very heavy job, it's an obstacle for that. And you should somehow lighten that burden of a heavy job, or maybe some very nervous job or something like that, right? That creates anxiety and tight schedules. Yeah. Also, Baba said about wandering souls that I have no idea about, honestly, how to do with them and where they are. I don't touch that segment of knowledge and what Baba teaches us. And the third, it's fourth one, Baba said, it's our own sanskars and our own nature and our own body. And for that, to manage that, we have to take also power from Baba. And over a long period of time, Baba said we should keep our mind tuned and our mind clear, and to get that experience of catching Baba's signals. I do practice that. It's really very challenging to me. And I'm trying also to reduce the burden, to have a lighter job, maybe less responsibilities, less involvement in some logic issues, to dedicate more time to yoga, to knowledge, and to some other things like that. And also, that's what about business, what I understood over last years, that when we do business, we can do like our own business, or perhaps sometimes we have to fight with someone to get a market share or to get some contracts and so on. And what is my experience, that we should avoid fighting with people over business, that we should somehow create our own field where we can invest our effort and get result out of it, without a kind of a commercial wars, business wars and all that stuff. That's much more fruitful. And in that case, Baba is helping to make our efforts more, bearing more fruits, giving better result over what we invest in that, over our time, our money. And also, it's not creating, what Baba says, don't give sorrow. When we fight with some people, it's a kind of subtle giving sorrow to them as well. Actually, we're not considering business that fighting for some contracts is a bad thing, but that fighting has a subtle frontiers that when we cross them, it becomes a real fight. And before that, it's not a fight, it's just a normal interaction. And that line we should always keep in mind, and not to go into confrontation, and not to go into fight in our managerial life, in our business life, etc.
Wonderful, Artem. Thank you so much. I hear you reflecting Asha Didi's theme about more relaxed. This no fighting and that. But I also hear you applying Baba's Gyan very directly in your work situation, and this such a wonderful practice coming towards the end, and this balance. Finding the balance. You, like many others who are listening to us today, are balancing a Lokik career or job or set of responsibilities, as well as, our Brahmin life. So it's very useful to hear that from you, because others also are in that situation. So thank you for bringing that.
May I just add just
yes,
last few words? And that that's a subtle issue, that for managers and for business people, that to feel who's responsible for what is going on. Yeah, that when we make decisions, and actually managers, they have to take very tough decisions. We have to fire people sometimes. we have to close some plants and a lot of other things. And it's for sure that 100% of people won't be happy with that. And it's a tough decision, and it involves lives of other people, etc. But then we understand that that decision when we take, we have good intentions and right intentions. Yeah. And also we make it whilst in yoga and also talking to Bobby about that, then after making that step, we are not responsible. Mm-hmm. We're not responsible. And actually, you know, we have a joke about that, that it's managing a big company, it's like traveling by train. You can jump, you can lie down, you can run back and forth, but the train will go with the same speed in the same direction.
Wonderful. That's great. Thank you for that. Sona, can I invite you, please, to share your thoughts and your efforts as you think about arriving in whatever your final moment is, the moment where you say goodbye, as Asha Didi says, or in the final scenes of drama, so that you have that feeling of satisfaction.
Thanks, Judy, and Om Shanti, everyone. So I've had a bit of an extraordinary journey in the last 6 months. I came to Madhuban mid-March, and the hope was to go back in 17 days. And I think once it started to dawn on me that I was going to have a longer stay here than 17 days, I must admit a lot of upheaval started to happen inside. You know, I feel like the pandemic has hit everyone, a bit like hitting them over the head. You know, it's really created an opportunity for all of us to relook at our lives and the way we've lived them. And it's really thrown us all out of our comfort zones. But if you can imagine, for me, on the one hand, there is the sense of this wondrous gift. I mean, how many people have spent 6 months in Madhuban? So there is this more than golden aged gift of spending time here. But I felt like I was actually being hit by a double challenge. There was the pandemic and the changes that went on because of that. And I was thrown doubly out of my comfort zone, because here I am in a place that I call home, but I have just the same old sets of 5 clothes and, you know, the bits and pieces that I brought with me. And I remember in the early days really thinking, is this it? Is this the end? Am I going to have to finish my life, wrap up everything here? And I think one of the words that really stood out for me then, and it still does today, is the word resolution. I started to realize how in my mind I was grappling to resolve things that I'd left undone around the world, particularly back in Abu Dhabi, where I've been based. And, you know, the thought of, oh, well, I rushed to India to be in on time because the doors were closing. And I left things undone in my room. I left things undone at the bank. I left, you know, and there was this feeling of my life is unresolved. I need to go back to finish a few things. And in the same way around the world, I mean, will I never go to Australia? I had a ticket booked for June. So quite honestly, I had to start to work on myself, with myself, on this whole aspect of resolving every moment with love, with peace, with whatever I'm confronted with. And I think that's been a key effort for me, and it's the effort that I'm going to have to keep making right till the end. The end and the hugeness of what I may have to face, it just feels a little bit overwhelming. But what has really helped me is to be at peace with every moment and whatever it brings. Almost like making drama into a friend, a very close friend, a friend with which you know you have to keep peace because you've got to live together. And so as time has gone by, you know, seeing the newness of the people I'm living with here, the situations that come up, the newness of having to operate and remote control manage a center, to allow others who are there to actually take the lead. All of these things made me realize how important it is for me to just be at peace. Asha Didi used the word relaxed, and for me, I guess the key word would be at peace. At peace with every moment of the drama, at peace with what I need to adjust within myself to be able to cope with the changes that the drama is demanding of me, and also at peace with the challenges, the new challenges that I am being presented with, and I guess we're all going to be presented with as the drama rolls towards its own completion. So I think for me, the subtle checking, really deeply checking for any disturbance inside, for any state of dis-ease, you know, not feeling comfortable with something going on out there, or with my own internal reaction, for the feeling that I'm not, I'm just not flowing with what is happening. I'm resisting something. All of these wonderful internal disturbances that keep coming up, they've provided fantastic checking points for me to gently bring myself back to a place of being at peace with all that is around me. And I kind of have understood for myself that if I can be at peace with every moment, if I can resolve everything that's coming up day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, then my intellect can be so clean. I've always loved the word, you know, having a non-stick intellect, you know, like you have non-stick pans. I've always thought I need to reach a place where my intellect is clean and non-stick, and what happened an hour ago, it's past, it's gone. No thinking about that anymore. No pull towards it. And I think for me, really, resolution of everything, so that I learn the lesson, I feel that I've grown from it. There might be a moment of realization of what I could have done better or what I did well, but then moving on, and really accumulating these moments of being content, being at peace, so that that final moment is going to be one of huge contentment and huge peace with wherever, however drama and Baba place me. So I think that's the way I'm currently gearing up for what is to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Sona Ben. Very, very nice. You know, as I listen to the three of you, the common theme is around, you know, relaxing. Asha Didi said resolution, balance. It feels like the surrender of any struggle. And I wonder if we're moving from the Rajo to the Sato Sanskars, because the Rajo is still battling a little with something, battling against the imperfection I see around me, or the challenges of the lokik, alokik, or the things that still call my attention to be taken care of. And that somehow releasing any struggle at this time. I'm going to ask you the second question and see and ask if you can weave into that, if you wouldn't mind, a response to this struggle thing. Are we changing? Are we really entering into the Sato Pradhan Sanskars by releasing these final bits of struggle? But the second question is really about shifting now to signals. Somebody has asked the question in the chat box about signals, and I think it's a good lead-in for the second question, because we want to arrive in those final moments without any fear, without any regrets. And I can see now some of the indicators on my journey that are giving me the signals, the kind of signal I need to tell me I'm on track, that I am actually on track with fulfilling my own potential and arriving at this final moment, fully me, fully everything that I can be. And I'm wondering if each of you could respond to that. How do we, in an encouraging kind of way, what are you noticing? What are some of the indicators that you are seeing and feeling now that tell us, that let us know, you know, I am catching Baba's signals and I am on track to arrive at my final moment, whenever that happens, with a feeling of satisfaction that my potential has been fulfilled. So Asha, Didi, if you would begin, please.
I would like to, Judy, add to the first question also, and that is the concentration. Baba has said to us that towards the end, it is a full focus and concentration that is very essential. And you must be able to keep your mind in a particular state for as much time as possible, whenever possible. This mental exercise, which Baba has said, presently I'm also doing this practice because what I find is it is not that easy also. We have to give real attention on it. And when we are in this world where we are playing our roles in different capacities, no doubt responsibility is there, but there are two things which I keep in mind. One, that it has been entrusted to me by Baba. It is not mine. It is not mine, it is Baba's. So this helps us to take full care of it. And the second is detachment. It is not mine and I need to remain detached. And this quality of, in simple words, what Baba said, trusteeship, it gives a lot of strength to the soul. We are connected with Baba in a very, and doing our responsibility, performing our duties with very, very detached manner. So we are totally surrendered to it, and yet we are detached. So presently the effort on concentration, I find, this is very essential, and it is through this only we will be able to catch the signals from Baba. Many a times there are thoughts in the mind and something is needed, something is going on in the mind, but the answer comes from Baba. This happens Amrit Vela, when we are sitting with Baba, talking to Baba, placing everything before him. He gives us the signal for that appropriate problem that I have placed before him. It is not only the problem, but also how we need to prepare for our final moments. And Baba has said to us one of the things, the final moments are going to be very, very difficult ones. If we look at the world, it's going to be a very, very difficult one. Brahma Baba, when he saw destruction in his vision, Baba did not want to see. He stood up. He did not want to see. He said, stop, stop, I do not want to see this. I want to see the other thing. And once we were talking to Dadi Gulzar, she was in our bhatti. Dadi's small groups were formed, and Dadi Gulzar came to our group. We asked her one question. Dadi, towards the end, when there will be so much water, fire, all these natural calamities. There is water on the right, water on the left. And do you think that our center will not get flooded with water? Will it be safe? Daddy said, water will not come. I said, anything can happen. Yes, water can come, and maybe that water does not come. But if you are Yog Yukt, connected with Baba, you will be able to catch the signals from Baba, and Baba will pull you to the subtle worlds, will keep you there, and Baba's children, Yog Yukta children, they will not have any difficulty at all. So one thing that we need to bear in our mind, fearlessness. Nothing to fear, because Baba is there with us and we have to be Yog-Yukt. And finally, I'm an eternal soul, immortal. I never die. And third thing, on which presently I'm keeping it, and I do say in my classes also, how long will we go on singing that I have this weakness? Now the new world is approaching. So I have to see, have I qualified myself to enter into the new world? Supposing today Baba says, oh child, here is the new world, and this is a throne for you. This is the crown for you. Am I prepared to accept that crown and the throne? Am I prepared so much with Sato Pradhan Sanskars so that I accept it easily? Presently, I feel that we need to give attention on inculcating those Sattvic Sanskars. More attention should be on that instead of having talking about a weakness. We have been doing it for so long. How long will we continue to do that? Goodness will make us to release all these old sanskars. Inculcation of Sato Pradhan Sanskar. And this, I feel, is a signal from Baba that now you prepare yourself for the new age. And be Yog-Yukt presently, keeping your mind, as Sona said, beautiful words, non-stick intellect. Keeping the mind and intellect free from the influences, biases, etc. No longer we can afford all these things. We cannot afford now. Those days are gone. It's a past history now. Let us be in the present and see, how am I preparing for my future? So this is what I feel the present scenario is telling me to prepare myself for the finals.
Asha, Didi, would you share with us one of the indicators? I know you spoke about how difficult it is to concentrate, and that seems ironic because we've been practicing for so long concentrating, and I know for many Brahmins they're having great challenge concentrating at this time.
It is.
That the yoga is actually more difficult because of lack of concentration power, a greater challenge there. So even though we're facing that right now, could you give us one of the indicators that you're feeling for yourself is a positive indicator that you are getting close to that final stage?
I would, Judy, can you clarify exactly the indicator? What do you mean by that?
Well, a sign, a signal inside yourself, something you see inside yourself that is telling you, in spite of these other things. This is showing me I am getting there. I am getting close to that final stage. I'm on track.
Okay. Yes. I tell you, I have really made efforts, hard efforts, on trying to be relaxed, and not that easy. And this concentration thing also. The concentration thing is very, very challenging, and unless we do it constantly, keep trying, keep doing it, I don't think we'll be able to achieve our exact position that Baba wants us to be in. So, as far as this thing is concerned, indicator, practicing the stage that Baba has said about angelic stage, being detached as though I've completed my work. All these things, I'm not able to find exact indicator, let me tell you frankly. I'm not able to find exact indicator that tells me that I am reaching my destination. Not exactly. Presently, I don't see that thing. But maybe these things will help me to get closer little later.
It's a beautiful, symbol, I think, that you're so effort focused. The tirelessness of remaining effort focused is in fact an indicator. You know, that you can stay so effort focused and that the effort becomes more essenseful, relaxed. I only have one word, relaxed. Repeat, 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 concentrate. I mean, to me, that's a beautiful indicator.
There is one thing, I would like to share. Whenever, you know, in administration, management, many a times, difficult times come and difficult things happen. People are not listening or something or they are going on. And earlier, I used to get worked up. Why? Let him come in front of me and I'm going to say this to him. But I don't know, it is a signal from Baba, and he tells me no. And by the time that brother comes in front of me, I become so mellowed down, so calm, so quiet. Whatever I have to say now, I say in a very, very sweet tone, and it gets registered. So these kinds of things, it's not a big thing, but what I found that Baba helps us. If there is anything, then Baba gives a signal, be quiet, be sweet, do it this way. But this is a very simple thing, Artem.
Simple thing, but very, very powerful. Thank you. It reassures me enormously to hear that you have issues with concentration. And I'm sure everyone listening is going to be reassured by that honesty. Thank you, Asha Didi. I find that a very powerful example that you are calm because your effort is to be relaxed. And so you're seeing the fruit. Beautiful story. Thank you so much for sharing that. Oh, sorry. Artem, tell us something positive that you are seeing in yourself. We know the effort is there, but what is something that gives you, you know, the encouragement that you're seeing in yourself emerging now?
Yes, actually, it's my first sign that I'm going forward, is that some bondages are removed. Some, first of all, physical bondages. I mean, some obstacles in my spiritual life, obstacles in my normal logic life, some issues with health, with money, and so on. They're slightly removed. And Baba said that health issues will stay till the end, but the way we deal with them can be also different. When our bondages and karmic accounts are removed, even our health problems, we solve them in the right way. At least we get appropriate treatment. We meet good people, good doctors who help us, and we don't feel that much pain and so on. And secondly, there are some subtle bondages. And Baba said in one of Avyakt Murlis, it was also maybe a few months ago, that if you come under influence of other people again and again, it means you have a subtle bondages over your intellect. And when those bondages are removed, it's clear that you can oppose people, that you do not come under their influence, under their parmat, and you can follow Baba's direction without any pressure, and you can find right words, and you do not feel psychologically, suppressed by those people. Yeah, that's the second. And the third, that what's important for me during that time is that mind becomes, cool, and mind is not attracted by some worldly issues like status, maybe some success, whatever we call it, maybe some scenes or events that are happening outside, and all that turbulence that we can see. That we do understand, we get some news, and we have to do it because to live a normal logic life, a professional life, we need some knowledge of what's going on around us, what's going on with American stock market, and with Trump, Putin, and all that stuff. But it's like from a distance, and mind is not attracted. That I just get this information, and to the extent that just we need it, not going into details, and not going what will happen, what tomorrow, what if they will do that, or internally, like it's not attracted, and not pulled to those issues.
Fantastic. And you are seeing this in yourself right now. Less of a pull, less attraction, less influence.
Yes, yes. And that period was very fruitful, especially lockdown. We had I came back from Madhuban in March, and from the second day I was in lockdown, and for 4 months, maybe 5, I'm not sure. Then it was very fruitful time. It was very easy for me to be in yoga, and I was so calm inside about that, because when we see the destruction from one side, it will be fearful, and I can't even imagine to what extent. But from a different side, that what Baba was telling us that will happen, and the dawn of New Year is coming, we will see that it gives some happiness inside. It gives some happiness.
Wonderful. Thank you. This is a wonderful indicator that we are on track, isn't it? This gift of the COVID helping us discover this quiet place in us. That's beautiful. And Sona Ben, so for those that are listening, we would like to go an extra 15 minutes if that's okay. So we hear from Sona Ben, and we have a short meditation with Asha Didi before we end. So I know we're coming up to the hour, and if it's all right, if you need to leave, feel free, and the recording will be there. But just to let you know, we will go the extra 15 so we hear from everyone. So Naban, tell us, what are the indicators, the positive signals you are seeing and getting that are telling you, encouraging you that you're on the right track? Oh, we can't hear you. Let's see if I can unmute. No, I cannot unmute you. I think you have to be unmuted on your end. Okay.
Is that all
Very
right?
good.
Can you hear me?
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
great. You know, to be really honest with you, I've had quite a big revelation in how much the drama was filling my heart before pre-COVID days. I kind of realized that my needs were being met in a very big way by the drama and the components of the drama, meaning people, projects, service, all sorts of things, food, you know, whatever it might be. And I guess for me, the biggest signal that I'm moving in the right direction is somehow, I'm not sure exactly what effort I've made or whether it's just circumstances that have made me make some kind of effort, but I feel like I've let go of all of these things from my heart. They may still enter my head because there's still the side of needing to plan and do things, but my heart is now in a little bubble with Baba. That's how I feel. I feel like this incredibly natural, easy companionship of Baba. That there's nothing more I really want than being with Baba wherever I am. Whether it's a simple thing like I go to have my meals and Baba's more there than anyone else. Of course, it's easier these days because we're not supposed to sit on the same table with anyone else. So, well, who else but Baba? But what I mean is I was very aware that I was still actually taking from the world, and the world was still fulfilling my deepest, deepest desires and needs inside. And yet now I feel like the drama's prepared me in a way that whether things go this way or that way, whether things happen as the plan that I think has been created, it doesn't matter. Those things are no longer props for me to stay content and fulfilled. So this natural companionship, this natural yoginess with Baba is probably the greatest signal for me that it'll be okay at the end. I remember a few years ago feeling quite anxious about a situation. And I also remember how I got out of it with this tremendous faith that Baba would be there and he would take care. But the heart was still struggling, you know. I was still anxious, but there was a part of me that was holding on to faith going, it'll be okay, it'll be okay. I feel that's changed somewhat now. The heart is pumping very easily. The heart is not stressed. And I know that whichever way things unfold, all that matters is just this togetherness with Baba, and everything will be okay. This morning I had a COVID test because I have to board a flight to go back to Abu Dhabi on Sunday. And a month ago I went through the same exercise and I was packed, ready to go. And then the next day I found out I was COVID positive. I mean, no symptoms, no nothing. What a big test from the drama to say, well, you know, there's your plan and I'm going to throw it in the mud. As one has to. And just as Asha Ben mentioned and Brother Artem also said, you know, you can have your 14 days and say, right, I'm going to do my tapasya. But you can't sit and concentrate and, you know, have seed stage yoga all day. It's just not possible for me at this point in time. But what I have learned to do through those 14 days and the 14 days after that is really hold Baba in my feelings, my awareness, and that gentle relationship of love, and knowing that if I'm with him, then he's with me, and whichever way things work out, it really doesn't matter because the drama is not going to fulfill my heart anymore. The drama is not creating my happiness. So yeah, really the sense of inner fulfillment of my heart, my mind, my intellect through this connection, I think is my greatest signal that I've moved closer to being prepared for the end. And somewhat, in some ways, I guess that also is an indicator of what I'd like to be as angel Sona. You know, if I think of the angel that I'm becoming, then, you know, the angel is just flying up there with God. And even though you see the scenes that are happening around you, they don't touch either your heart, your mind, or your intellect. You're free.
That's beautiful, Sona Ben. Thank you. So it sounds like this quarantine has really allowed you to see the level of attachment, but also to release it. It's like a gentle release by the sounds of it in a very loving cocoon. So beautiful indicator of moving forward. All three of you have offered so much, and the different situations you're in provide a different context, which is similar to all of us listening. There'd be something we could all take away from this conversation based on your wisdom and your context being different, each of you. I'm wondering, to end and bring a close to the conversation, if we could just hear from each of you, having heard each other speak, and the whole conversation that we've had here, what is your one thing you're taking away from this conversation that is a support for your final moments, effort for your final moments? And we begin with you, Asha, Didi. So as you reflect back on this conversation that we've just had and the points that everybody has offered, what is one thing that you are each taking with you from this conversation to reinforce or support your, I suppose, the efforts for your final moment? Asha, Didi?
Yeah. It is never give up, keep moving, and have faith in the self, and we will achieve our final destination.
Wonderful. Thank you. Artem, bye for you?
Now, looking at my senior teachers, I just realized that enormous effort is ahead. It's for me, I mean, enormous effort. That's my stage should be increased several folds until I reach my really karmatic stage and final moments. And that's thanks to drama. We expect this second wave of lockdown. It's already started for schools, that we can sit at home and without much anxiety and work to do, to dedicate the time to more remembering Baba and going deep inside and preparing ourselves, myself first of all.
Baba's special gift to you, Artem, to bring you here today, isn't it? To be so inspired, to offer and to be inspired, isn't it, for all of us?
Great honor to me.
Wonderful, wonderful, really lovely. And Sona Ben, for you?
I guess I'm reminded of that picture, you know, Krishna kicking away the old world. And I guess for me, it's like really cleansing my inside of the old world. And is there anything left there that's still pulling, that's still filling me? Or have I totally distanced myself from anything there that might be of interest and completely changed the focus to the other side? So I think that's what I'm going to take away, you know, just keep checking, and keep looking at the trees on the other side.
And you will be tested immediately because you're going back to Abu Dhabi. So you will see very clearly, won't you?
Judy, I'll be tested tomorrow when I get the results of my COVID test.
Okay, let us know how that goes.
It doesn't matter whether I'm here, whether I'm there, all good.
All good. Thank you so much. Thank you to all three of you for being here. Really, just to be in the conversation means the rest of us who are with you watching and listening get to be part of this conversation. So I appreciate so much you being here. And thank you to Marcelo Bai and all the translators. We will end with a couple of minutes of meditation. I've asked Asha Didi if she would carry us to our final moments in a brief meditation commentary. One announcement before that, you will receive from the Merly Notice the link for the recording for this conversation. But the way we're sharing it these days is we're sharing the playlist for all the conversations so that you'll get all in one. And this one will be there as well. And Marcelo seems inspired that we continue this. So there'll be a couple more conversations. Stay tuned and certainly send Marcelo or myself any suggestions for topics. And again, it's really just meant for us as BKs, the kinds of things that we're facing right now. So Asha, Didi, if I can invite you to lead us to our final moments in a meditation commentary.
Okay, now you sit relaxed, okay? Let us take our minds away from the conversation. Let us emerge our final perfect angelic stage. All the efforts that I make create my final, beautiful, powerful, perfect, complete Bhat-Saman stage. Let us fly to the subtle world, where Bap Dada with sweet drishti, powerful drishti, and with open arms is welcoming me. Baba's drishti, Baba's vibrations, are appreciated of my final moments. who has guided me to be in this final form. I'm happy. Bap Dada is also happy to see me. Absorb the power that is emanating from Baba. With these feelings, I return to my Karma Yogi world. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you. Thank you, Asha Didi. Thank you, Artem Bhai. Thank you, Sona Ben. Thank you, Marcelo Bhai. And most of all, thank you, Baba.